Hello, everyone. I'm Ira Pasternack with Web for Doctors. I'd like to welcome you to our new series of interviews about the business of occupational medicine. Today, we interview Brannon from Occupational Health Solutions in Fort Worth, Texas. Bo has been a leader in the OcMed field in Fort Worth since the early 90s and opened OHS, or as it's often referred to, Team OHS, in 1997. If you have any questions or thoughts about the interview, please comment below. Now, enjoy and be inspired. All right, hello everyone. I am here today with Brannon from Occupational Health Services in Fort Worth, Texas, and we are here to talk a little bit about the business of occupational medicine. Welcome, Bo.
Thank you.
To get us started, tell us how you got started in the field of occupational medicine.
Kind of by accident. Uh, Back in the infancy, at least in this area of occupational medicine, Fort Worth, 1990, 1989, 1990 era, uh, I was working for a company that wanted to explore working with doctors and working with companies and putting them together. Um, and it just kind of, formulated from that point where there was a need because there wasn't any big box companies, there wasn't any big boys out there at the time. Everybody was very small regional players at best, and so it was just something that I enjoyed. Thought, man, there's a future here, and so that's kind of how it got started.
Gotcha. So got started there around 1990-ish, and then somewhere a few years after that, you started your own practice in OHS. So I guess what was it that made you go from that first job experience to deciding that you were gonna kind of dive in head first and open up your own business?
Well, I enjoyed working with companies locally, and I enjoyed the freedom of working for a local company. But the local companies kept getting bought up by the big guys, and so that's how the big guys became the big guys. And so I just thought, well, you know what? We can do this ourselves on a smaller scale and deliver a much higher quality product, service oriented. And so the birth of Occupational Health Solutions, 1997.
Fantastic. So that the desire to have your own small business and work with other small and larger businesses, but to really have a say in things was a big motivator, and I believe that's what really kept you focused on the Fort Worth market.
Yeah, it was more of a let's be not the biggest occupational medicine provider, but the best at what we do on a local level. So we could be involved in our community, understand what the needs of the Fort Worth employers were. So we work with large employers, we work with small employers, everybody in between, and they get a very laser focused team dedicated to working with them. So we don't have to answer to corporate America. We don't have to worry about the higher ups because we are the higher ups.
Gotcha. So you can really make sure you're providing the service needed by by those local employers, whether they are based locally or they're just a local office of a bigger company.
Yeah, they know who that one phone call you get the answer you need.
Gotcha. So, what is it about in the Fort Worth market that really what is unique to the Fort Worth market, and maybe Texas in a broader sense, but especially the community that you're in there?
I don't know if it's any different here. We're based, we grew up here. We know the area. My partner and I both are from this area, so we know the lay of the land. It's familiar with. Having been here for 30 some odd years in business, we understand the employers and what they need. Texas work comp is again unique like any other state work comp system. We understand how that works and the nuances of that system, both employers that are in the system and employers that opt out of the system. We understand what they need, so we can stay focused on what is needed in Texas here, obviously, and in Fort Worth is where we serve.
Sure. And so really that 30 years of insight and knowledge into how the systems and the rules and regulations in Texas have evolved is something that certainly sets you apart from a competitor who may have only been open for a few years, or even if they've been open longer, typically might see a lot more turnover. I believe that's also something that sets OHS apart is the fact that not only you and your partner have been at it for a long time, but much of your team has been around for quite some time.
They have, one of our philosophies is hire great people and get out of the way. And so our tenure here from both physician as well as the support staff is far above the average. And so it's the relationship building that has really set us apart. With the employers, we have relationships with our employers. When they call the clinics, they're getting the same people every time, and that's a comfort level for most employers to know who they're dealing with.
Makes sense. Have you faced any particular challenges, especially over the last few years coming out of the pandemic, kind of coming into this new normal that we're in? What do you see and looking into the future, do you see any challenges for the Occ Health industry? Or opportunities, if you want to look at it from a
Well,
opposite that side.
I think we've been very fortunate in Texas. Our economy has been very good. Obviously, COVID had an effect on everybody. We dealt with that. We stayed with our employees, and I think they appreciate that, in which they stay with us. But as far as anything else, I mean, our employers, the challenge they have is hiring people. And so when they find good people, they want to be able to keep them, and I think we try to be a part of that as well as helping them get people back on the job ready, return to work, fully functional as quick as possible, and having that relationship with them and offering them advice on the safety aspect of it. You hire good people, you keep good people, and I think that helps them make decisions.
So you take that philosophy not just from the people that you hire, but basically who the people you're helping your clients hire, and if you
Yeah, there's a lot
push
of
that
investment
philosophy
in
all the way
hiring.
through, you.
Yeah, there's a
Sorry, go
lot of
ahead.
investment in hiring someone, and so if we do a good job of making sure they're fit for duty, then that's going to benefit the employer as well.
All right. Um, so before we wrap up here, why don't you tell us a little bit about OHS and why you call it Team OHS and 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 how you who your ideal customers are in the Fort Worth area.
I'll answer the last question first. Our ideal customer is anybody that needs help, and
Okay.
everybody needs help. And so our ideal customers are obviously, I mean, we have such a wide variety of industry here, drug testing, physicals, injury care. So basically, anybody that has employees is a potential client for us. And what we like about that is that we get to know what our employers want, how they want things done. We customize protocol to fit their needs, and each one has a different need. How they get communicated with, when they get communicated with, and we involve our physicians in all aspects of the communication. And we're local, and so I think it's easier to get things done when there's only one phone call to make to get an answer.
Makes
Did I get
sense.
all the questions, or I'm still lacking something?
Nope, I think you did a great job and covered all the bases. And yeah, that's the 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 full spectrum of occupational health services, I think, is especially important. Depending on who else someone might be going to, there are certainly health specialists, whether as part of a hospital or otherwise, that might focus on one or another areas of some of the very specialized services, and you may have urgent cares that can provide a certain amount of service to a certain amount of overlap with these services, but just the fact that you go deep from the worker injury to the testing to the physicals and kind of offer that full spectrum of employer paid services along with injury care, and the 30 years of experience doing it really makes you unique, not just in your market, but in most markets you would be an unusual, in a very good way to your customers. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there's anything we can't do. I've not been asked that question yet. Not saying I can't do it. So, yeah, that's well said.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Bo, for your time and joining us for this discussion of OcMed business. And we wish you luck with OHS.
Thank you, Ira.